Here's the problem with you. You had a severe issue this morning and stopped me from going to work, and now it's gone. Where did it go? What did I do to make it go away? Where is it? Where's the light? Did they lay down rocks today? Is there rocks in the road? Are they all over my tires? You're right, they are. Look, he's got a pool now. He's got a bunch of mud in it. Did you put that mud there? It was probably him. No, I don't believe you. You're the only one out here. Look how muddy your paws are. It had to have been you. This guy has been giving me some trouble recently, so we're gonna do a little bit of work on him. Oh, it's so nice. There's a few reasons I'm going and taking all this off to get to that bad boy in there. But the main one is that this thing put itself into limp mode 3 times a day, and it idles like crap, so we're gonna do a bit of archaeology. Is that the right term? We're gonna look at this thing real hard and get all the out of there, you know, all the. Now, Hondas are notoriously easy to work on and they never break, so this should be a piece of cake, obviously. We have 2 coolant hoses that we have to pop off, and the idle air control whatever is down there. You know, just in the worst spot possible. It's fine. We're gonna take off this whole throttle body, because I have to clean this whole thing out anyway, because there's so much carbon buildup in there that it's actually causing issues. That's what 160 something miles do to you. 160,000. It's a lot of miles. Now obviously it's a Monday. I'm recording this on a Monday. It'll probably upload on a Tuesday, so all my neighbors think I'm a madman. But work needs to be done, because if I don't fix my car, I can't go to work. If I can't go to work, I can't fix my car because I don't have money to fix my car. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Something's broken, needs to be fixed. Doesn't get fixed, death. This specific element has electronic throttle control, which is stupid and bad. It shouldn't respond like that. It's all fluffy. Gross. You'll see on some cars there's going to be a hole in that throttle plate, but on electronic throttle cars you don't need to do that, because the car will just crack the throttle slightly so it can idle. Unless your idle air control valve is malfunctioning, and mine has a weird idle. It sounds like it's cammed. We call it a ghost cam in the industry, and I don't know, it sounds gross. I don't like it, so we're gonna clean this sucker out. Like I said, we have 2 coolant hoses here that we're gonna have to remove, and obviously they're full of coolant. When dealing with coolant hoses like this, what you're gonna want to do is get some kind of clamp, right, or a vice grip on these guys, and clamp the hose. That will stop any fluid from coming through the hose and, you know, spilling all over. Obviously you're gonna have a little bit at these ends here where it's not clamped off, but it'll stop most of your coolant from spilling out. Even then, we're pretty high up. I mean, the radiator cap is down there. They're pretty much equal with each other, and I can move these hoses up higher to negate the effect completely. But you put some clamps on there and you kind of just move them out of the way. There's also one right there next to my hand. Depending on your make and model, sometimes you can finagle a wrench down there and these hoses aren't here and they're routed differently. But mine doesn't have that. Plus this hose is actually wrong. It's not supposed to be there. I put that hose there because of this. There's a lot of things here that aren't supposed to be. All right, so part of this process requires taking out 2 bolts and 2 nuts. You're gonna have 2 studs on your throttle body mounting point, and there's your throttle body. You can't mix them up. You know why you can't mix them up? Because that can't go onto one of these if one of those ain't there. Pretty simple. Makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Now what we actually need to get to is that right down there on the bottom of the throttle body. So we are going to need to flip this over and take all those hoses off. And you can also, you know, while you're in here, try and clean that out, although I wouldn't suggest really doing that because, I mean, just in the throttle body alone, you see how much soot, and some of that's probably even oil. It's not worth it unless you're pulling the whole manifold off and throwing it in an ultrasonic cleaner, because otherwise you're just shoving brake clean down there. And brake clean is very explosive, and it will shoot fire out of your intake and possibly even blow this clean off the manifold. All right, once you've made an absolute mess of everything, this is gonna be able to be taken off, and from there we're gonna take off this guy right here, and we're gonna see what's in there, because my suspicions are that that's where all of the gunk lives. Anyway, I'm just going to set that on the ground because I don't care. Also, if you're ever looking to upgrade your throttle body to a slightly larger one, now would be the time. I don't have one because I have no money. Once you get in here, you can see that you've opened up the wrong thing and this is not where you need to be. And that most of this mess you've made is actually for nothing, but it's not for nothing because you have that off. And you see that down there? See, what the smart people will realize is that there's no throttle cable here, meaning I don't have an idle air control valve. But it would be attached to that. Should be attached to that. I don't know what's in that case down there, though. Some weird emissions thing. If anything, the issue is actually lying in that, my servo motor. And you want to see something cool that Honda does? Their torque screws? Yeah, they put the little pin in them, so I can't actually take that out. I have to deal with the problem by buying a new one. Except I don't, because I'm not going to do that. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, where do you go from here? You have all this stuff off. Well, you clean that. That's where you go from here. You clean your throttle body in this a little bit, but not too much, because if you drop anything in there, you're dead. And you go to the next culprit. The VTEC control system, which lies back there somewhere. That's it right there, actually. And if it's not it, well, then there's going to be oil all over my hot exhaust header, and I'm going to die. As you can see, we now have a check engine light because of our endeavors. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. It keeps defaulting to that really bad accent. I'm going to stop doing that now, because we need that to get to operating temp normally, so I can check if that idles correctly. As you can see, it is now idling, hopefully normally. And when you turn the AC on, it should kick up a little bit. There you go. And it has AC now. Well, it had that before, but now it's idling when it has AC. You turn it off. Well, it's trying to. There's still something weird somewhere, so I'm going to turn it off and see where it is. Now, obviously, I would be a fool to touch an engine that had just been, heated to operating temperature, which is several hundred degrees Celsius. So I'm going to wait for a bit for that to cool off. At least that's what I want you to think. I might just start working on it. You will never know. See, if I do start working on it now, it's still going to be hot. And but do I really care about that? I mean, look at this thing. Tiny little square, small square vehicle. You think I care if it's hot? No, I don't care.